Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Where am I? Shit. Okay, where's my thing on the screen? 1 second, guys. Okay, can you see this? Cool. Oh, geez. I can hear the Braps live from radio. So this is going to be pretty entertaining. Um, let's see. Hopefully you can't hear this music, but I kind of need music to program or to design. So I will put on some music real quick and just get to it. Okay. All right, let's see. So, yeah, today I'm just gonna probably spend some time going through um, some of the settings page stuff. So, I mean, we have updates, which I'm actually gonna make this call as updates. So, this is gonna be the thing that manages OTAs and whatnot. So, trying to figure out how this should look, but I'm like doing several things at once. Um, so, like earlier this week or yesterday, I started playing around with notifications, um, and just trying to think through like what are all the different things we want the wallet, uh, like different settings for the wallet, different settings for specifically our chat, as well as sort of app specific settings. So how do we want this to kind of be laid out? So just kind of walking through all those. Um, I saw on Twitter they recommended that Realm chat should be um, or the chat should only notify when you're mentioned. So I put that as an option. We'll see if we can get that wired in. But yeah, so really what I spend most of my time doing is flipping between all of these files and figuring out like what we need to design. So we've got a huge checklist, and if I pull it up here, let's see what we got. I mean, I think the goal here is sort of the OTA section, managing OTAs. And then I actually have to go and do some designs for the new chat because I built the new chat. So if I don't think I can show you yet. 1 second. I'm gonna have to add this, but I'll show you the new chat real quick. I have to actually recreate the physical code that I've written back into Figma so that I can play around with some ideas because I'm trying to figure out, specifically how we're going to do this filtering for spaces in Realm. So you've got your DMs, and I just want to figure out how to make a really slick way to change the context for a portion of the messages, but not for all of them. So I'll probably walk through that. Let me see if I can actually add another screen here. Let me make this one like Realm dev. Okay. Application capture. And we're going to do, I think that should work. Okay, that doesn't actually work. Sweet. Dude, we're doing this live, so let's see what happens. Window capture, maybe. It still doesn't work. Okay, so full screen apps don't seem to work on OBS. We'll just stick to Figma. But yeah, maybe I can just do a quick screenshot of like the chat or something. What are you? Oh shit. Are you hearing the music? Okay. Damn. Okay, sorry. I did not know that was going to be the case. Yeah. Well, I'll try to do this in silence, I suppose. Yeah, so this is the chat right here, like that. So this is the current sort of view for the chat. This is actually all built out entirely, and it was one of those things where instead of wait, my voice is super quiet. Okay. Hello. Is this good? It's hard to engage on the radio stream just because there's that delay. So let me see if I can check YouTube's comments. We're doing this live. Let's see. Okay, sweet. Right, so we'll get back to this. I think I figured out how to, at least engage. So I have like a few windows on my higher or upper screen here. And I'm just gonna kind of talk through what I'm doing. It's kind of unnatural for me to talk through what I'm doing because usually I just, I don't do that normally. So we'll see if this works. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So let's just keep going. Okay. So let me just get into the groove. And if anyone wants to like ask a question, I have two feeds going of messages. So I've got radio on the left, and then I've got on the right, I've got the YouTube stream chat. So let's do this. All right, so let's go ahead and go into the OTA section. And so the first thing I usually do when I'm getting into designs is I'll just go and find some reference. So why don't I just do this real quick? I'm going to try to share the window. My browser, I'll show you some of the designs sites I go to. That should be pretty cool. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna make this browser. I gotta add another OBS screen, 1 second. Yeah, that one, and then, no, not that Brave browser. Let's see, maybe I can go to window capture. Jesus. There we go. Okay, I think we got it. Cool. Can you guys see that? Jeez. Alrighty. Okay, so this is the browser window, so cool. Yeah, I'll just plop that up there. Okay, how do I send this back? Jeez. Order, there we go, move down. Okay, cool. So I can easily do this, sweet. All right, so first one I go to a lot is Dribbble and then Behance. So let's see. So then maybe we can look at like Windows, Updater from there, and then Behance is good sometimes. Although a lot of times you come across like not the best. It's a lot of like graphic artists and stuff. So let's see if they have anything for this, like Windows Updater or maybe like Linux Updater. Okay, let's see what we got. See, look, this is what we get when we come here. Web design, and half of it is just like garbage. So we'll stick to Dribbble. So here we just want to kind of look through maybe, and these are all like retro. Okay. So this is one of those things where like, the internet has gotten worse at doing this because I used to be able to find things very easily. But everything's optimized for garbage and promos. So let me try just looking at, for reference, the Windows 11 Updater. And then we'll look at the Mac one too. Mac OS OS X Updater. Okay. So let's see what we got for images. So I usually just take all these images of the different ways that this is done in different OSs, and then start just iterating on stuff. So I'll just paste this into Figma real quick. Okay, so we got Windows. It's there. Cool. And then, let's see. The Mac, and Mac's new. They have this new settings. That's pretty interesting. So, I mean, it's not like the sexiest thing to work on, but it's just what I'm currently focused on. So, that's all I can give you guys. Where's this? Okay, updates. Okay, sweet. Wow, the Apple one is not pretty. It's kind of horrendous. So, all right. So this is the Mac one. I mean, it's not really exciting, you know. This isn't, you know, that riveting. So, yeah, why don't we look at the way that? Let me get Talon's updater as well from Grid, just for reference. Yeah, okay, so yeah. There's that. Okay. So we've got a few different variations. The cool thing that they're doing here is they're putting the kernel hash, or the last bit of the kernel hash here, gives you up to date, and you have to be able to like unsync and sync. So that's like, if there were some requirements for this, you know, OTA's version number, maybe we'll even say just like version number channels. Okay, so what we'll probably need is we'll need like a hash. The hash, OTA hash. We're gonna need the Realm version probably. Realm version, because we also want to be able to update Realm itself from here. So you know how you have to like go up into the top bar and hit check for updates? It'd be nice if we can just do that here as well. So, all right, we'll do the Realm version, and then we need the sort of release channel design here. So in settings right now, if you go into the like about section, you can change from the production version of the app into another like channel, deployment channel. So we have like a beta or an alpha, which is confusing because we have the alpha. This is an alpha, but we have like a production release and we have like a pre-release. So yeah. But yeah, let me actually come over here, and I'm gonna take in, you're gonna see some stuff maybe. Let me take in some of this stuff. So yeah, here, this is our update design. So this is what was used to then build that updater at the beginning when you first open Realm. So makes sense to bring this sort of look and feel here into the settings. So let's just start with like something like that. So why don't we try just plopping this bad boy in here. Okay. And so really when I do design work, it's just iteration. So it'll start and the design looks pretty, you know, not great. And then over time it slowly refines. And maybe I can show you an example of that. Because I do have these things called like, I call it like graveyard. And so these are like all of the intermediary designs that didn't make the cut. So it's sort of useful to get that context. Yeah, like here's an example of this iteration. So it's like, okay, how do we do the new chat? And you go through sort of ideation of, okay, what if we put the spaces channels at the top and your DMs under it? And then you're like, okay, well, maybe we tab it, maybe we search, maybe we do it like this. And so you just keep iterating and iterating and iterating until, you know, it looks better. I don't know. It's not like a science. It's just, you keep doing it until you don't hate it, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's the way I design. Just keep attempting something until it doesn't look like garbage. All right. So yeah, this is cool. Let's keep going. I mean, it makes sense because we have the logo there. We might as well have this guy floating around. So let's do this. Okay, come on. And sometimes it's a little pain in the ass. I got to detach that component instance. That you don't need to care about that. It's just the way that Figma wraps components. Okay, so let's paste this guy in there. Nope. There. All right, we want him centered. So yeah, you're just gonna see me doing this raw. So this is like the way I design is I use auto layout a lot. And auto layout is essentially Flex. It's the Flex containers system that you would be using if you're a front-end developer. So let's do 200. Ooh, wait, no, that's way too much. 20. Okay, so we've got that centered. We'll save this in case we need it somewhere else. Okay. Cool, so we've got that, that's nice. Now let's see what's going on here. We've got, okay, the last check. Last time they checked, that would be interesting to have. Check for updates. Yeah. And having a little bit of info with what's new. That could be cool. We do release change logs with everything, so it might be interesting to show. Although when you open the app, it just kind of forces it, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's going to be useful. Because one of the things with having like this like a server side OS, like Urbit, is that you kind of need to be up to date on the client and the server perhaps. And so, yeah, let's just not do the change log for now. And that's another thing that I spend a lot of time on is you always start out with like these ideas of what you want to do and what would be really cool. But then it's like, at some point you've got to like limit scope. And so a lot of the things you'll see here could be the intermediary scope, or it could be some future scope. But usually what I'll do is I'll try to design as broadly as I can to say, well, what's this UI going to look like once we add all these features in the future? So I'll design like this long-term thing, and then I'll work my way back and strip it down. In this case, it's pretty straightforward. It's just a settings page. And so let's just go through this. It's kind of interesting because you have this sort of center align thing here that is offset to that, and it kind of throws me off. But there's nothing we can do. Okay, cool. Let's maybe go to the other settings area. So yeah, over here, you're going to get a sneak peek of like some of the hosting stuff. So in settings, you'll have like the ability to manage hosting. We kind of already have a version of that, but this is essentially all the other features that will be coming soon. But I need this KPI real quick. So let's take this one here. And so yeah, in Figma, you can do this whole component thing where things are, nicely organized into components like this that you could reuse and stuff like that. And I'll do that sometimes when I get through like the initial phase of design. So I'll just copy and paste a bunch of components over until I've sort of iterated on it enough. So I'm like, okay, this is gonna be the final one. Why am I wearing a hoodie? Okay, these are the questions that I was hoping to answer. I just like wearing hoodies. I don't know. So I've got a lot of hoodies, and my wife buys me hoodies a lot. So I just wear hoodies. Yeah, riveting answer. Okay, so let's do this. So we want to say like the Realm version perhaps. And we're about to be on 0.7.0. So we'll do that, okay. And also like this, there's like this concept here where like you have this card of information on the right. So this is like a design you see in all the settings stuff where there's like a card and there's like this left pane. Although if you look down here, one of the, oh wait, I'm gonna have to go here. Yeah, so like one of these panes here is like, yeah, you have the card stuff, but then sort of when you go to download Realm, and this is something we're working on currently. So this will be web-based, but I kind of like the way it looks when you don't have the card on there for certain things. So maybe it makes sense with the like downloads and OTAs that we actually don't use the card. So let's try that. Let's give it a go. Okay, so let's just take this away. Right there. Okay, and see what we can maybe pull off. Yeah, so let's go on ahead and duplicate that. I'll make this a list. We'll give it a spacing of like, let's just do 0. There's already padding. And then let's do this. Make it smaller. We're going to center align this bad boy. No, not that yet. There we go. Okay. So, yeah. It might also be useful to get the realm, like the realm agent hashes. So let me actually check this out and see what we could do. If I were to do like that realm, what do you get? Okay, the base hash, you get that. So let's just go ahead and take this guy. It's realm desk or agent. Nice, look how huge that is. Okay. Perhaps we'll drag this out a little bit. Yikes. Okay, why don't we just take the end of this because this is way too long. We'll just do the last section for the hash. Yeah. Okay, so this is when like every time people have problems, the first thing I ask them is what is the desk hash, or like what is the agent hash. So this would be useful to have. Yeah, what would also be useful to have is the status. So is it running? So maybe we should reconsider this a little bit for like a status thing. So yeah, it could be useful to put that information here as well. So let's see, how can we do this? Okay. Yeah, the Windows stuff is a bit too much. I think there's like too many options. That's the one thing with Windows is like they have like 20 years of bloat. Okay. Let me try. We'll put this here. Okay, so we'll put like so okay, maybe like current. Will be current ROM version. Something like that. Okay, and the way this works is these are fixed. So let's put this to like, yeah. Let's do like 170 on both of these guys. Nice. Okay, so it's like the current version of Realm would be this. Okay, so this is where we start getting into the details. Okay, so Realm has a desk and it has the actual like app that we distribute. So it's almost like these two are part of the same thing. So maybe we'll just like, yeah. Maybe we'll put like a header above it. And this is going to be, yeah, let's try this. Okay, Realm, pop this guy up there. Yeah, okay. And here, we'll hug the contents here. Okay, cool. So we're just doing some basic setup for what's going to be sort of like Realm, yeah, Mac. I think it's ARM64 or something, yeah. So yeah, okay, so it's good to know, so a user will know like maybe what version of the app they're using. So maybe that would be useful. So maybe we can do that, like, yeah, okay. We'll do the, maybe, what would we call this? Sort of the version, release, or the build. So this would be Mac ARM64. Something like that, maybe. Okay. Yep, not pretty yet. We'll get there. So we have this little title section. So we can look around and see where we could pull from some reference points, because there are a lot of designs. So maybe I could dive into notifications. No. CoreOS. And this is where the sort of components are useful, but yeah, like I said, it's a time thing. At some point, it makes sense to start creating all of these components. Nope, that doesn't look like it's gonna work. So we'll just let it sit there. Usually I'll just screw around with it like this. Ooh, there we go. Maybe we want to do like the realm font itself. Or something. Yeah, it's okay. It's just okay for now. Okay, let's see. Oh, we have some more comments. Okay, so Justin, you want some tips on how to use Figma? Well, here's one thing that's useful. And I could probably show you it on this. This is a good example of how this is useful. So you can define these things called components. And then from that component, you can essentially, it's like the master copy of the component. And if you change this, it changes all other components that are referencing it. So sometimes when you're trying to do something like if you really know what the design is going to be for something, or if it's going to be used all over the place, you sometimes want to do things that way. So here's an example of that where, okay, I wanted to have the sidebar component. Because what I kept finding myself doing is I was copying everything over, and then I was like, oh, I have to like keep replacing it. And usually when I do that, that's when I'm like, okay, let's make it a component that's reusable. And so in this case, you can see like, the toggle itself, if I were to like, paste this out here, I actually get, if you look over here where my mouse is, you get this sort of like section here where you have a value. And the value is like, on or off. And so if you look over here, you'll see that it's toggling on and off. Cool, right? And so in the case where like you're also doing this here, so like let's say for example we wanted to use this one. No, I think no, this is right. This is right. Yeah, so if I were to copy, for example, the toggle label itself, let me do that. That one, that's what we need. Okay, so you can see that I have this label side attribute here. And so here it's like left, I can do top, and I can do bottom, right? And it's cool because when this happens, what ends up happening on the design side or on the actual implementation side is we go build these out to the spec, right? So if I spin up our storybook, you'll see a lot of these components actually, like with all of these options, these become sort of like the options for the component. It's like label side. Do we want the label right? Do you want it above? Do you want it below? So on. And so what I'll do over here is I'll try to spin up a version of the design system, and I can kind of show you through some of this stuff. All right. So yeah, I don't know if it's how useful it is to go into the workflows, but I think it's kind of cool to see that really at the end of the day, when you're building all this out, you can just map it over to these React components fairly quickly. And I'm sure that once the ChatGPT stuff gets into here, you can just say like, hey, write this as a component for me, thanks. Which would be, save a lot of time. But again, it's like, I wonder, in terms of style, if it's going to be like good. I haven't gotten too deep into the ChatGPT stuff, but let me plop this browser. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so check this out. So yeah, it starts in Figma, and then we come over here, and you'll see like, yeah. So this is like the avatar component. What you see here is you see like the sigil, you see it as an image, and things like that. I think if we come in here, you'll see the toggle. So here's just the toggle by itself, right? So there's like a large one, it's disabled. All these different states are in here. We also have folders, which are cool. So this is like, it's going to be useful for the thing we tweeted this morning, which was the Trove, the Trove thing. And that's kind of like a Dropbox for Urbit. So this is an example of like, yeah, here's what it would be nested. And so you can kind of like in isolation click through all these components. And this is sort of how we are moving fairly quickly, is that we built this library of components that we're just like blowing through, and just like we can quickly add this component here, and if you update it one place, it updates everywhere, sort of thing. And so that's kind of how we built the new chat, right? So before we even started with the logic, we actually went in here and started making the whole chat component system, right? So this is like block quotes, mentions, links are in here as well. So you can like layer in Twitter stuff. This one seems to not be working. Yeah, the reactions and images and all that. So yeah, there's quite an interesting workflow because I've just gotten really fast at doing this. So I can, if it's a Figma design, I could turn it into a component in like, I don't know, a few minutes, depending on the complexity. So let's switch back. All right, so really let's get back to the goal of this whole thing, which is, yeah, we want to make a new section of settings. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm really liking all this yet. So what I'll probably do is I'm going to just duplicate this and then drag it to the side, just as a reference point for later. So okay, let's try this. Yeah. Call this like, app build current version. Yeah, sure. Desk hash. So yeah, it'd be cool. Like one thing we should probably do is say, okay, so version 070 needs to map to this desk hash. That way, if the front end and the back end are out of sync, we at least would know about it. We could alert the users. So that could be interesting to know. Okay, so now let's do like a little like install button. Let me just come in here. I kind of like these guys. I kind of like these buttons. So let me try to take this guy. And we'll just paste him in. Okay. So we don't want this to be that. It's not Apple. So maybe we'll say like, download, update. Okay. And then we put the next version number, so 0.7.5. That's the new version. Perhaps in this hypothetical future thing. So yeah, it's kind of confusing. So if we were to list it out, we've got, right, you have a desk, which is sort of the back-end agent stuff. You've got, what is the sort of OS this is installed on, right? And then you've got, so then you've got like, under the desk, you've got a version, right? A hash. And then you have like sort of the app itself, and under that you've got, a version. You've got, what is sort of build target, right? Which the build target, I guess, would be like, the Mac ARM 64. Okay. Yeah, all of this. Okay, let's see. Oh, we got a lot of comments coming on. Yeah, place it in the element in relation to the logo. I see what you're saying there. Yeah, there's quite a bit on radio. There's 8 people. It's kind of cool. Yeah, okay, so this can kind of get confusing, right? So you've got like, okay, the app, you've got the version, you've got the build target, you've got the desk, the version, And then you've got like Urbit, right? So you've got like whatever Veer, and that's like, what is it, 122 now or something, unless they've updated to 133 or 123. I'm not sure. So you've got Veer, and then you've got like, this is okay, Realm Desk. This is it where we have some confusion. Like so you get the base desk itself as well. So with that, you've got a version, a hash, and all of that. Okay, so how is the user going to make sense of any of this? The guy's just like, I'm coming in here, give me the updates. I don't want to think about all this stuff. So this is the challenge of just this page, right? And right now, this is like, this is what happens in the first 30 minutes. Or actually, if I wasn't maybe like doing a live stream, I'd probably have iterated much faster, but I'm kind of trying to talk through things. Version 2.0 soon, nice. But yeah, this is sort of like the start of the process, right? So we kind of figured it out. Like, what is the problem? Why is it kind of confusing when you get OTAs and like you've got to suspend desks? Like this morning I did my moon and I had to do this. So like, let's see if we can figure this out. Okay, so let's see. So we have like these groupings, right? So the app, Realm Desk, Base Desk, and then you have Veer. So in a way, it's almost like, let's think of it from like a series of boxes. So the first box we're going to put in here, this is going to just be, actually let me do this. Make the nano layout, I'll fill it in, and then we'll just like tweet that. Okay, so this is going to be the sort of like Realm stuff box. Okay, so we've got Realm stuff. Underneath that, it's the Urbit stuff, right? And so with Realm stuff, we've got like, the current version. So let's just keep writing this out. So we've got our current version. We've got the build target, which I would hope that people know what computer they're on, but it's useful for support. Let's see, what else do we need? Oh, we need the desk information, right? So now we need desk. Let's save desk hash, should be enough. I think we need the version as well. So when we actually build the desk, it builds with the same version of the UI, just because usually there's compatibility issues with that where, version 7070 is expecting the agent to have some poke, right? And if it doesn't, this is where a lot of our problems actually come from in onboarding, is that someone had an old version of the agent, they onboarded with a new version of the app, and so it's kind of getting to the point where we're thinking of like, if the agent doesn't have the same version as Realm, it will kind of force you to do that update. Because I'd rather like force it than letting you like get in and it breaks. And like just Realm doesn't work itself. So for the Realm stuff, we need all of that. And then we have the Urbit stuff, which is, the base desk. It would be the sort of base desk hash, and then we're going to do Veer itself. Okay. And so really, like, let's drag these boxes out. These are sort of the boxes, right? So now it's like, okay, we kind of have this idea of there's the Realm update that's sort of separate from the Urbit update because they happen at different times. Like Tuesday seems to be the new day for Urbit. And then when it comes to Veer itself, you really can't update Veer itself from Urbit yet. And so I think there's some talk that you would be able to like force a Veer update through like Dojo or something. So when that's ready, we could probably, consider that. But for now, what we would probably be able to do is list out what version it is and see if from there, like the user's gonna have to probably be sophisticated enough to figure it out. So, let's see. So how could we make this easier is the question, right? Like not from like an Urbit person who's like aware of Urbit perspective, but like I'm just totally fresh and I'm coming in here. I don't know what all this is going to mean, right? And I don't need to, really. I just need to know that it's updated or not. But it is useful to have this information. So maybe we can have it all be in one line, or we could say like, you know, urbit, and then you could do like, yeah, urbit, and there's like the hash. So let's see what the hash would be in this case. Yeah, so maybe there's like a multi-line thing where you have almost like a table, perhaps. So let's give this a shot. Okay, so we can just say this is the hash, and we'll do another thing here, and this will be the version. Yeah, and so this is like the title. So we'll take. Okay. So this is this. We got that. Now what's the version? If we were to look in VATs, let's check it out. Plus VAT base. It doesn't even show in VATs, or is this? I think it might be only in the docket where they have that information for Urbit. So maybe that makes sense to just not have that. But I think it could be useful to have that in the top. So let me actually keep this. Okay, so take these guys, plop them down here. Okay. So we'll say this is sort of realm app, and this is like the realm desk, yeah. And so the realm desk itself, what are we at? We're at this guy down there, and the version would be 0.6.6 or 0. And the current version, yeah, the table doesn't make sense then in this case. Look, okay, let's take this out. And the reason is because like, okay, there is no concept really of a hash with the realm download. Maybe we would want to for security if you wanted to check it, but let's actually just take this out and we can do this differently. So you've got this concept of the realm desk. And again, what is a desk? You know, I don't know what a desk is. I'm a new user. I don't know what a desk is. So let's not confuse them. Let's say we'll do this. Maybe we could call it like realm agent backend. That could work maybe. And then here we just call it the realm app. And this will be version number 6.08. Okay, let's just simulate we want to update to the newest version that will be coming out soon, which is going to be version 0.7.0. Okay, so the realm app and the realm backend. So in this case, that makes sense. It's a bit simpler. We'll get out of here. And what you're seeing here is you're just seeing like the raw iteration that I'm going through in real time. So yeah, I didn't know how riveting this is going to be from like a content perspective, but let's keep going. Patch Tuesday. Let's see what this is about. Nice. I see. So is this why the Urbit Foundation made it be Tuesday? So Microsoft, Adobe, and Oracle all do their patches on Tuesday. Nice. I want to do ours on Sunday or something. It's the holy day. Okay, so when current version and latest available are the same. That's a good point. So let's take this out. We can focus just on the realm section. Yeah. So it's like updates available. That's honestly, Apple's is kind of disgusting. So I'm just going to delete that. That's like horrible. Okay. Boom. Yeah, so let's just design the state where we are up to date. So you are up to date. Congrats. You are no updates available. sort of thing. Let's try that. No updates available. All right. In the trash. Yes, it's in the trash. Okay. It's in the docket, plus VAT has a source Aeon, but that number has a weird behavior. Okay. So no updates available. Maybe that's up there. Yeah, and I feel like the button should be at the top. It's almost like the most important piece of this page. So no updates available. Make this maybe bigger. Let's put this maybe updates available. Then this is like the info section. So let's maybe pull this guy here. We are going to want to copy the properties there, and we're going to paste the properties onto this bad boy. And so this might be a cool trick for Figma. I don't know if you can see the context menu on this, but you can copy the style from a Figma object and paste it onto another one, like that. That comes in handy from time to time. And so, yeah, maybe we want to put this in a little card. We can make the card a little bit darker. I don't know. I don't really like this. I don't really like that, guys. Let's just kill it. We're just going to kill it. There, take it off. Okay. Yeah. And so, like, a lot of times, this is just iterating through things, trying different strategies out, looking for source designs that could be, inspirations. So maybe I'm gonna switch back over and see if I can find anything that could give me an idea. 1 second. Okay. Ooh, it's almost like maybe a downloader. So let's just do like a downloader component and see if we can find something here under product design. Yeah, so we want, where's the downloaders? Like download progress maybe? Progress. Search has gotten so bad. I mean, look at this. Does this look like download progress? No. Hopefully ChatGPT can solve whatever the hell went wrong with search. Okay. Yeah, these are just not great. Maybe if I look up like Linux installer UX, see what they do with like Linux. Probably will be disgusting, but there could be some interesting ideas. Nope. Okay. OS installer UX. Oh, look at this. When did Google get so bad, guys? This is like just horrendous. Okay, we're just gonna have to pull it out of thin air. Let's do it. Okay, so no updates available. I usually make some of these things 70 in the cases that they're not as important. So I guess it's less important to know that there are no updates available than that there are. So what we'll do here is we'll kind of like, clean up our working area real quick. Okay, and then we can copy this. And then when there are updates available, let's figure out what we want to do there. So, okay, boom. Take that. Paste this bad boy. All right. Download update. Sweet. I feel like the spacing's off, so let's fix this. Perhaps we can give it more at the top there. Okay, you know what? Let's try this actually too. Duplicate this just for reference. Put it over there. And let's just delete all of these other pieces for now. Let's start with the basics. And then we can add the complexity after the fact. So come in here, let's center this bad boy. That's okay. Seems too low when you center it. Yep, probably because I have the padding at the top. Okay, let's try to take the padding off. No, this can't be like, it can't be there. So we're gonna have to probably like screw around for a bit. All right. I think it's fine up there. What do you guys think? Oh, nice. Let's see. Get some. Okay, let's try this. Let's see if this is going to give us some help. Restart and install. Okay, so downloading update. The download update would trigger the spinner. When the spinner's done, we get restart and install. Okay, I like that. So let's just think about the states of this. So downloading update, we'll say it's downloading. Okay, and let's find my spinner. I have it somewhere. Okay. There's the spinner. We need that. Okay. We're going to take him and put him inside of the button. So, and that's something that's really cool with the component system that we have, is that all of our components and input boxes have the ability to like pass in arbitrary elements. So we can put in icons, we can put in spinners, pretty much in any of these interactive components. So it's kind of nice. Okay, so download update, it could be downloading. When it's done, we can give him a white check sort of thing. Let's try that. Where is the white check? I'm blind. I'm blind. Okay. Check. Here it is. Okay, so yeah, this remix icons, it's where we get our icons. It's really useful because you can actually right click on these. You copy as an SVG, and then you can just paste it into, you know, React or something. And so we built an icon component that essentially has a map of all of these, and we just have to like give it a name, and it will just make it appear. So, okay, so this was 18 by 18. So what's the center guy here? 20, so let's try this. So we want to detach the instance, we want to ungroup it, and then we're going to keep ungrouping it until we get the basic element here. There we go. And so with this, we're at 18 by 18. So let's bring him down. Boom. Yeah, maybe this will be, maybe we want to do this, I don't know. Let's see. So we get the check, restart, and install. Sweet, that was helpful. So yeah, just this little thing there, the restart and install. That was all that was needed to get essentially from like very simple bare bones to like at least these 3 button states. So that was like just little ideas that trickle in are useful. Cool. Let's see what else you guys got. That's KDE. Okay, let's see what that's doing. Oh, sweet. This is helpful. Nice. Okay, so that, I think there's nothing really else on that page that's useful. But this, yeah, maybe let's look at the Mac one as well. Like what's on the About page for Mac? Hopefully it's not as ugly as the Update page. Okay, that's not too bad. Paste this guy without the serial number. Okay. Yeah, the Apple, it's just, this is not like great. I don't know what's wrong with their design sense, but it's kind of gotten just plain. Look at that, it's just muted gray. Come on, guys, like put color into it. I actually kind of like the way this is set up, where you have the software and then you have the hardware. That kind of looks nice. So, okay, we have all these different button states here. So let's just go ahead and turn these into a component. So I'll do this and check this out. So if we right click on it, create a component, we'll call this the the downloader button. Okay. And so when you're in this sort of component, like when something is wrapped as a component, it's got this like, you know, square that's on its axis, like 45 degrees. And that thing just means that it's a component. It's the master component. I don't know. That's just the way that they articulate that idea. But what you can do from this is you can add a property. So let's add a property and do this thing called variance. So we'll call this like variant, like maybe this status or state. Yeah, let's call it status. So we'll call this status, the first one, default. And then we can do this, watch. So we'll copy, make another one. And then what we'll just do here is we'll just like, yeah, paste. We'll paste this guy in there. Okay, and then we're going to downloading, ... and that's well, to be consistent, there. Okay, so it's downloading, and then we want the check state. So this will be the final state. Okay, and this is restart and install. Boom. All right. And here, yeah, this looks good. The spacing's all solid. Right. So now what we can do here is I'm going to delete all of these. Okay. And you can come up to assets, and now I can search for the downloader button. Drag him in. Okay. Like that. And this is where you get into like wireframing things and whatnot, is you can actually come in and, you know, when you click on it, it could change to status 2 and to status 3. And so now we have like all these different UI states there, which is kind of nice. So before I move on, let's just name these just to downloading status. And this one will be sort of, yeah, restart and install, just so it's easy to read. Okay, so we've got that. So when you get an update, you have that, but we also want to add one more state actually. So the final state will be no updates available, perhaps. So let's try that. So why don't we just go ahead and do this? Why don't we take this button here? We can name this and say no update. And we can do this. Yeah, no updates available. Paste this bad boy in there. Like that. Yeah, it could be useful to, let's not do that. Let's not do anything fancy here. We'll center it. We're going to center this bad boy like that. We'll take the styling off of the button. And then we can put him there, make it to 70. Okay, so now perhaps we can do all of these states here. No update. Nice. But I kind of like this with without it being too thick. And this has to be Rubix, sorry. Yep, Rubix is the font. We've used Enter at one point, but yeah. Okay, sweet. I think we're good. No. Oh, we got all these down. Do you want to light? I kind of like, yeah, it's fine. Cool. All right, sweet. So we have this new downloader button, right? And what we could do now is I could go create an issue and say, okay, we need this component written, so someone could get on it and start writing it. I kind of like when this sort of like status text is light. So let's see how that looks. Yeah, I like that. No updates available. And it matches the design of the, not that, matches the design up here. Like if you actually look at the component, I don't think I designed all states for the component. We kind of did it as we programmed it, but there is a state where you have like, yeah, see the very thin text, the light text. And so now, yeah, this is the other concept here that we have to think about, which is you have the pre-release version that you can select. So there's like a drop down if you look in Realm. And this was a problem because the Linux build actually, part of the build process used the wrong flag and it put out the staging environments information. And so people were getting updates from staging, which wasn't ideal. So we had to put a setting in settings to switch back to the production release. So yeah, let's see what else is going on in the chat. Cool. Wait, so you suggest color change in downloading state since it's not clickable? I see what you mean. So maybe like, what, darken it slightly? Come in here and go to the black value and we'll just, maybe, I don't know. That could, I mean, maybe that could work. But I see what you mean. It's not really clickable when it's in the downloading state. So yeah, this could be helpful. Okay, so with this, I think this sort of thing would be useful where we say software and hardware. So let's try that out, okay? So let's maybe move this guy up a little bit. So maybe like 8. So the updates are at the top, no updates available. Then underneath that, we'll have like this card section that has software, and instead of hardware, it will be server, perhaps. So it's like, or client or something like that. Yeah, I think software and then server, app and then server could work. Or Realm and then server. No, it's kind of confusing. All right, let's try this. We're just gonna go for it, see where we get. Okay, so we'll do software. Let's just start with that. Let's start with KDE. So we have software. Group this bad boy. Ubuntu UX is nice. Yeah, I wonder what the Ubuntu stuff would look like here. Because yeah, KDE is cool, but Ubuntu does. I would say Ubuntu is the nicest of all of the Linux distros. Okay, so software. Maybe make it medium. 14 seems right. Okay, so maybe we'll make this section, yeah, like 350. And this is where we can go back to what we were doing earlier and just copy these bad boys. Because we really sort of need something that, you know, is laid out in this way. So we got this. Let's make these 350. 350. Cool. And so what do they do on theirs? It's actually, looks like they left align the version number and they right align the other stuff. So let's try this guy out. Okay. So we'll do that. Oh, sometimes I hate when you get into these deeply nested clicks. Try that. And then try this guy. Sweet. And so with the auto layout, we'll space this out, maybe give it 12. Seems good. No, Ubuntu's not good. NeoFetch is interesting. What is neofetch? Neofetch. Linux. Let's see if we. Okay. Neofetch is bloat, bro. Is it just like this terminal looking thing? Okay, so this is pretty interesting status stuff. All right, neofetch. Command line system information tool. Oh, I see now. Yeah, this is kind of decent. Yeah, it'd be cool to maybe showcase some more stuff. Maybe like, I don't know. It wouldn't be that interesting to show the theme information in the screenshot, but I see what you're getting at. It's aesthetic. Okay, so yeah, maybe there's a way we can make this more interesting. And we'll get there. I mean, this is the first pass, and usually I go through like a dozen passes, it feels like. Yeah. Okay, so they actually put the software above this side. So let's try this. Let's just see if we can do this software. Over here, we'll just like take that out. Oops. And pop him in there. 100%. Okay. Nah. Say realm version OS realm desk. So maybe this is realm app, realm backend. Because yeah, we're trying to figure out how we make this, you know. I guess people could learn what an agent is, but it seems too much like it's not necessary. So maybe just ask. Cool. So then we want to say vir, yeah, 1.22. And maybe this is all it is. Yeah, vir 122, and then we're gonna have base, or maybe we call this like kernel, Urbit kernel. And the Urbit kernel will have a hash such as this. Okay. I guess that works. Yeah, because, well, one thing they will be able to do when they come here is, like, their theme will have influenced the design of this slightly, right? So I really don't like the software here, sorry. I'm gonna have to fix this. That doesn't really work. I mean, I think if you center aligned it, though, perhaps that would work. Yeah, center aligned. Okay. Okay, these are fixed. We're gonna do this. We're gonna fill, so we're gonna center these guys. Fill that one, we'll fill that one. Yeah, so in this, in the sort of auto layout thing, if you fill, so if you have like a row, so this is a row, if you look here, and in that row, there's 2 text fields. And I set the, I guess you'd call this the like width option, or the sort of horizontal space option. You can do it fixed, you can do it to hug content or fill. Hug just like wraps whatever the content is. Fix you set, and then fill. If you have a fill, it will actually, and you put 2 of them in there, and you have it set up properly, it will just like do half and half. So these are like these little tricks you kind of learn. So in this case, this was fixed, but instead, like, let's maybe try to you know, hug. There we go. Boom. Yeah, so this is software. It's kind of coming along. I kind of see something here, but let's maybe make it bigger. Yeah. Okay, so this is the software, or honestly, we don't even have to call it software because it doesn't really matter, but it should say something like versions. Huh. Yeah, we'll just call it software. There we go. Easy. Urbit kernel, Urbit runtime. Yes. Yes. Urbit runtime. Urbit kernel. Boom. And so this is going to work. So we can put this, we can spruce this up, but we're really getting to, this is the first pass where you want to get the information hierarchy kind of figured out in terms of like what's going to be there, right? And there's a lot of people that do wireframes where they would use like everything would be gray boxes, and that's sort of what I did with this exploration here with the graveyard, where it's like, okay, how do we want to lay this stuff out, right? But just for me, I've always designed to fidelity, sort of. Usually just because that's how I think. So I just kind of iterate through that. So yeah, we're getting like this sort of information hierarchy of what needs to be there. And then we'll obviously do like a visual pass after the fact, but I think we're getting somewhere to start. Let's see if we can put this card back, what happens. Like we'll turn on the card again. What do you think about that? Putting the card back? I don't know. Maybe put the button in. Let's see what happens. There is a download available. I think it needs much more spacing. Let me try like 40 or something like that. No, something's off here. I mean, this is where like design is just like gut. This all feels off. Something's off here. I think it's probably the software header is too close to everything else. And so maybe we could space it out. Here's an idea. Let me do this. Hit that bad boy here. So really it's like this all this content is useful to have together. So let me maybe maybe do this. So put some padding. We can put maybe something back on the back here. We'll take this guy away. I don't like the card. But there could be something here where it's like, there's like maybe something where you put this down to like 8. We round this to like 16. No, geez, it's too much. Oh, let's try 12. And then, yeah, I just don't know that. I don't think this is it. I mean, I think the content's correct. I'm trying to figure out from like the design perspective how we're gonna do this. I think it's a semi-bold too. It's probably a problem. I think this is looking better, but I'm not a total fan yet. You can't get too dark. Look at that. See, it's too gray. It's too gray. So maybe it does get white. I'm not sure. And perhaps just go underneath. No. Maybe this could go inside of it. Yeah, this is where this is just like iteration. And usually what I'll do at this point is I'll just leave the design. Some vertical white space below the button. Yes. Let's try that. What if I, yeah. Let's try like 40. No, 20. I think this does go down to... hmm. Okay, so this is with some spacing. What do you guys think of that? Oh, like another 1 REM, okay. Yeah, this is like, yeah. Imagine when we multiplayer. I mean, just imagine having multiplayer and being able to get into this in Realm. I guess we would just have to like load Figment in Realm or build an alternative. But I don't think we'd build the alternative. Someone else would build it on top of our stuff. Okay, I think this is a good place to kind of stop. I could keep going, but yeah, we're getting there slowly but surely. I think I'll probably continue this tomorrow, but yeah, usually when I get stuck on something or I'm like, this doesn't quite look right, I'll usually just shift to something else. And then when I shift to something else, you kind of get a fresh perspective when you come back, because you always get lost in these things. So like this morning, one thing I was working on was, what was I working on? Oh, I kind of just built these out this morning because I kept copying and pasting everything, so I just made that. But notifications are going to be difficult. I've been trying to get through these. They're probably good enough to start building at this point, but I think there's polish that needs to be done, because you kind of have this concept, like, maybe we shouldn't get into this now. Maybe I'll do another one of these at some point, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Has this been interesting to just sort of like go through the design process? I mean, it's been kind of fun to get some other people to throw some ideas into the mix. And there's such a delay on this. So I'm just sitting here waiting for a lot. Cool. Yeah, I think I'll probably do more of these then. Since I have some developers in here right now, what else would you want in developer mode? So this should be built decently soon. I'd say in the next, I would say by April, this will be out. But the idea here is that we want people who are developers to be able to just download Realm, and within Realm they could set up like a developer tile. And so maybe I can try to see if I can switch to my other screen, and I can hopefully show you this. So let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Which window? Damn. It's just, for some reason it doesn't like capturing Realm. I don't know what its problem is. Oh, here we go. Got it. Okay, sweet. Oh, yikes. Jeez. Yeah, I'm going to set this up a bit better, guys. Okay, sweet. Oops. All right. Cool. Cool. I'll send him to the front. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I'm in the way. I'm gonna move up here. Cool. So yeah, the idea here is that we want to have you be able to define these like apps, but really what they are, below it all is it's just one of these. It's a reference um, to this sort of config here. And so the way it would work is you would have the agent or sort of, the Vite setup. So we're actually working on a Realm create app sort of thing. And the idea being that if you were to start your application using the Realm create app template, and you pointed the developer app here to the port it was running on, you would be able to set a tile. So you could upload a tile here. You could set the name, and this is the config. Actually, maybe I should do that, config.realm. And so we actually have this file that you include in your desk when you distribute the app called config.realm. And what that does is it tells Realm, we're starting out with some basics, but it tells it how to open to a certain screen resolution, right? And this is a normalized screen resolution. So we actually have to probably put in some like scale ratio based on like pixel density, because if you have a big screen, the ratio is the same as if you have like a small resolution screen. So we'd have to do a few of those things, but generally the idea here is that you can set configuration up here that will then be reflected in Realm. And an example of this, which is cool, is, let me turn off Figma. Where's? Oh, I think I have to get to it. I have to be on the Realm. Okay, there we go. An example of this would be like maybe Lexicon. So if I open Lexicon, you see how Lexicon opens at this certain, resolution or ratio. That's all configured in config.realm. So the idea would be that, like, I want to build an app. I know it needs to open small. Let me play around with that. And then you'd be able to like update it and save it and stuff. So that's sort of the intention of the config.realm stuff. And so I think it's going to be useful because we're going to get into even more details as to what you can do here. So you can imagine like multiplayer, you can imagine, some TomeDB configuration, stuff like that. And so here with VS Code and terminal, we'll actually do something like install, like there's a terminal called HyperTerminal, and it's all written in JS, but it essentially is a terminal for your normal computer like iTerm or Mac terminal. And so the idea is that we would take something similar to that, have it be an app in Realm, and you could just write to your own terminal and do bash and everything you want. And then the VS Code one is going to be cool because it downloads VS Code server, and then you can boot it up and start like acting like you're using it full time, right? Like you would be able to live in Realm. The only thing left is the browser. And actually there is some cool stuff with the browser, but I probably need to jump off at some point, but this has been pretty cool. Wait, Hosted doesn't use Houston. Oh, sad. Oh, yes, Nodman. We're going to have a terminal. It's going to be great. The idea being is that you would install it with dev mode. And when you installed it, it would just add a tile that was that specific feature. So, yeah, cool. Well, this is kind of sweet.